My sister asked if I would off myself, and I promised her I would find a way to help her. We were listening to the lawyer read our father's will, both expecting his fortune to go to my sister, Alicia. Instead, the lawyer looked at me, and you will inherit your father's accounts. I looked over at Alicia, who was pale with shock. I immediately tried to reassure her. Hey, this wasn't what we expected, but maybe Dad thought I should be settling Chrissy's hospital bills. Some relief showed on Alicia's face, but she was still tense. Chrissy was her 7-year-old daughter who had been battling cancer since she was 3 years old. Alicia's husband died in a car crash, and she has fended for herself since. When our father got sick, he told both of us he planned on giving Alicia everything. I would have handed over whatever portion he left me anyway, just as I planned to now. Then I looked back at the lawyer, who gave me a sad, pitiful look. I tried to stay calm as I asked, "What?" The lawyer said, "Your ex-wife uses this law firm as well. She assumed you'd get an inheritance from your father's passing, and has been meeting with another lawyer about taking you to court for a post-separation settlement. She may be looking to gain a large chunk, if not all, of your inheritance." My blood went cold. My ex-wife and I have been divorced for 3 years. We divorced because I found her with a coworker in our bed. We settled our separation quickly, and she accepted keeping the house and the car and zero in alimony. I was never supposed to see her face or hear her name ever again, but here she was, out to steal the money meant to keep my niece alive. Alicia's overwhelmed, pressing her hands against her face. I forced myself to regain composure. I haven't been served papers yet. Do you think I could get the inheritance and transfer it over to Alicia before I'm dragged to court? The lawyer shook his head. Your accounts may freeze until things are settled. Alicia says in a weak voice. How long could that take? For everything to be settled, so that we at least know what is left. The lawyer took a deep breath. I'll be blunt. I've snuck a look at the case your ex-wife is building, and her intentions are to bleed you dry and drag it on as long as possible. Alicia went pale and nearly fainted. I caught her, and the lawyer gave her a water bottle. I shook her shoulders. Alicia, hey, we'll figure this out. Alicia's eyes were distant. We're out of time. I need to pick Chrissy up from daycare. I didn't stop her as she left. Instead, I turned back to the lawyer. I need details. What is my ex trying to use against me? Abuse allegations mostly. And the lawyer she's working with is new to the firm, so I don't know much about him. That's bull. I never heard her. And it's in writing that we divorced because she cheated. I started pacing the room. I yelled, why the hell would our dad change his mind last minute? He told both of us that everything was going to Alicia days before he died. Do you have any of that in writing? I shook my head. No, but he said his will was already notarized. The lawyer scratched his chin in thought. He then asked me, you said days before he died? Yes. The lawyer pulled out a file and flipped through it. He then looked up at me like he had an idea. I need to check a couple things. Could I call you later tonight? I catch my breath at what seems to be a sliver of hope. Of course. Don't get hopeful yet. I'll call you tonight. I went to Alicia's house, but her neighbor answered the door. If Alicia asked her neighbor to babysit, then I knew where she was. I found her in a corner booth at the bar where our dad would go. I sat across from her, trying to ignore the 6 empty wine glasses. Alicia broke out into sobs. Do you know the call I got from Chrissy's doctor right before the will reading? I shook my head no. She needs a transplant, and she'll have a lengthy recovery time, and she needs a mom who is there for her and not drunk. And God, I'm so scared. Alicia slammed her fists on the table. I felt useless. My sister bit her thumbnail and finally looked up at me. She said softly, I've only been able to come up with one way. I was on the edge of my seat. You've thought of something? What? She took a heavy breath. Your ex can't sue you if you're not alive, and you could will everything to Chrissy? I froze. Alicia broke out in sobs again and shook her head. But I couldn't live with myself if you did. I hate that I even had that thought. I'm so sorry. I reached out and grabbed her hand. You're desperate, and honestly, I thought that too back at the lawyer's office. But I'm not going anywhere, and we will get through this. My sister held my hand firmly and nodded. That was when the lawyer called. When I answered, he said, turn on the local news. I signaled for the bartender to change the channel on the mounted TV, and we watched as breaking news flashed underneath a video of my ex getting shoved into a police car. We were staring with jaws dropped when the lawyer said, I confronted your ex and that new lawyer in his office after finding evidence of the two creating a false will for your father. Your ex went crazy and tried to stab me with a pocket knife, but ended up stabbing the other guy. I've secured the original will from his office safe, and your ex will be charged with manslaughter. Oh, and tell your sister I said hi.